Hello, and welcome to Braves Breakdown. My name is Caleb Woodworth, and I'm the radio TV teacher here at Bellmont High School. Before we get started, make sure to follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube page. Today I am joined by Bre Feasel, who is a member of the Bellmont High School cross-country team. Bre, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Bre, so for someone like myself who's not super familiar with cross-country, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about it here. First off, I just want to know, how'd you get into the sport?
I actually started running in middle school. I ran track my 8th grade year, and that was a very interesting experience. I actually didn't run cross country my freshman year, but I had some friends who convinced me to try it sophomore year, and I ended up loving it.
How are things looking for your guys' team this season so far?
Pretty good. We're really working hard. We're pushing ourselves pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Our first meet wasn't so great, but I mean, it was a hot meet, so it wasn't the best for everyone.
Can you tell me a little bit about the sport itself, like how meets work and kind of what goes into training for it?
The training that goes into it, there's speed workouts, there's distance days, like where we just run a certain distance, and we do our best to just keep up that pace and like keep getting better and better. A meet for us is either boys or girls like run a race first, and it's a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, which is honestly pretty long. It's pretty much just running that distance, and what a meet looks like is the teams are lined up probably 10 to 20 teams of just like 7 to 10, 15 people. It's really a wide grass area, I guess. And as soon as the gun goes off, everyone's sprinting. Like, it's very chaotic, very crowded. Like, I've heard of a few people tripping. I haven't seen it, but like I've heard of like people falling and all that, based off of like just starting off. It depends on which meet it is and like where you're at, like how crowded it can be and how many teams are there and whatnot. Because if there's a lot of teams like New Prairie, there's no way that you're gonna have a good like wide gap between you and someone else. There's always gonna be someone with you. And for like smaller meets, there's gonna be probably a good 20-second gap to a minute to a few minutes. Like, it's crazy, especially for our number one girl right now. Her name is Sydney Angel. She's a freshman. On distance days, we start off and she's already like 10 feet ahead of us. Like, she is crazy and she's cooking. I'm actually like very excited to see her grow and get better and like set school records, because I can see her doing that.
First off, how easy is it to kind of get lost on the course? Do you get like a map out beforehand? Do they have people out there directing you?
We usually go through the course before we actually run it. Like, we walk through the course, we jog, and we have a map with us. It's usually the coach that like guides you through. I just like to say, because I'm never the number one girl, just follow the person in front of you.
Okay.
But as for like the first person, there's I think always a gator. Almost always.
Like the car, the pace car.
Yeah, it just kind of like guides you on like where you're going and all that.
How would you say your coach contributed to the team chemistry and your personal success?
Oh my, Coach Rish, he's literally just like the heart of the team. Even though he pushes us really hard and we like are always complaining, he definitely is just one of our top motivators as well, and he's always there for us, making sure that we're okay. He wants to know about every injury so that way he can change up the workouts for us and make sure that we're like actually going to recover from those injuries. And he, honestly, one of the best coaches a girl could ask for, like as a girl cross country runner, because I know that like other teams don't have it as good as we do, and Rish is just one of the best people out there.
Outside of your practices and your meets, what do you and your team like to do to kind of have that team chemistry and bond with one another?
So we actually have quite a few stuff that we do. So we like to do other 5Ks like around our area, like around the county and whatnot. And so like we've done the Norwell Color Run, we've done Swiss Days Race. What we like to do during practice is like whenever we're warming up, we have question of the day, like just to get to know each other more and just like connect on a deeper level. And then we also sometimes do games. So that is actually like the games are thanks to last year's senior cross country runner, Keely Carpenter. She created a scavenger hunt for us. And like it was created so that way we'd still have to be running. And it was like all over town. It wasn't just in the Bellmont area, it was all over town. And it was really fun. And we have just other small games that we do during warm up too. We have this staring game, which is kind of uncomfortable, but kind of funny at the same time. We just have a lot of fun, try to have a lot of fun. We just are very outgoing, so those things just kind of match.
Who are some of the leaders on your team? Is it mostly like an upperclassman takes care of the underclass?
Yeah, so I'm one of the leaders actually because I'm a senior, and the two other seniors, Mackenzie Selzer and Madison Whitty, they are also our leaders. And Mackenzie has actually been taking care of our shirts and banners and like our senior pictures and all that, which is really great. Me and Madison are just there to like encourage everyone and just like get everyone hyped for the long day of practice and all that.
So let's say one of your teammates, one of the younger ones, have a bad day. Maybe they have a bad meet or something. What would you say to them?
What I would say would be like, it's just one race. You have multiple other races coming along. If it's the last meet of the season, you have next year. You have track if you're doing track, which most cross-country people do track. It'll be okay. Like everyone has bad races. Yeah. I've had bad races. It's not fun, but I mean, you'll get through it.
What would you say is your favorite thing about running cross country?
Probably like just realizing how much better I'm doing during some of the practices and like especially during the meets. Like at the beginning of the season, I'd be getting like 26s, 25s, which like it's pretty good for like the first race of the season, but it's not where I would want to be. Whereas the end of the season, I'm in like 23s, 22s. I'm really cooking it during the races, really putting myself to work and working my butt off to make sure I get up there and all that.
What's your favorite thing about your team?
Just the positivity, because they're like, we're all so supportive of each other. We're all like super outgoing and really excited for each other, like for our successes and all that. Like on runs, we'll say good job. Like no matter what we're doing during that practice, we're saying good job. Just really cool to be in that type of environment where you get to be yourself and like everyone just loves who you are.
How has the sport helped you grow outside of the sport itself, just on your own personal basis?
I honestly feel like it's helped me be more positive about things because, like I said, like everyone's so supportive and like it really is a mental sport. Putting my mind to work about trying to just get through things, like that's helped me, and like just being more positive about things, like it's been really helping me with that.
If you could go back and kind of look at your 8th grade or even your freshman self, whenever you were considering joining back onto the cross-country team, what would you say to them just to kind of get them into that, like, you should join?
It's really fun. Just do it. Like, there's no shame in, like, doing bad. Like, everyone has bad meets, days, whatever. You're really going to enjoy it, and it's really going to be one of the best things that happens in your life.
All right. And before I let you go, when's your guys' next meet?
This Saturday at Salina in Ohio.
Okay. Are you excited?
No.
No?
I don't like Ohio courses.
Yeah. What's wrong with Ohio courses versus other ones?
Well, Salina, for one, like, it's just mostly out in the sun. And, like,
okay. Not a lot of shade.
Yeah, there's just kind of, like, a hill. Like, there's a few hills, which I don't mind, like...
Is that the hill I've heard about? The one that everyone complains about? What's the hill that I've heard about?
The hill that you have heard about is the new Prairie Hill, which is called Agony Hill.
Agony Hill. I was going to say, even whenever I was back in high school, I remember the cross-country team dreading that meet. Okay.
Honestly, I love that course. Like, I'm actually wearing the new Prairie sweatshirt right
yeah.
now from last year. I actually do pretty good on Agony Hill. I don't fully mind it because there's like a little drop at the end of it that just kind of helps you to continue going.
Okay.
It's a really eventful and chaotic course. Really just chaotic, and if you don't put in the work for it, do the hills.
Yeah, there you go.
Do hills.
Well, that's some good advice to give someone else that's thinking about joining. Well, thank you again very much, Bre, for joining us. That's all for this episode of Braves Breakdown. Be sure again to follow us on Spotify and subscribe to the North Adams Community Schools YouTube page. We'll see you next time when we speak with a member of the boys soccer team. Have a good one, Bellmont.